Good evening. I call this meeting of the Magnolia Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551. So if everybody would please stand, Mr. Jordan Blake's going to lead us in our invocation.
Good evening. It's been a long-standing tradition to do this before all the meetings, so please join me. Lord, we are so thankful for the community and the school district that we have here in Magnolia. We ask that you continue to bless our administration, our teachers, our support staff, and most of all, our students. Lord, we ask that you continue to guide our teachers as they educate their students, both through the curriculum with academics and also continue to be a good example and teach them life skills and help the students to develop good character in our classrooms. Lord, we ask that you also continue to be with all our students and help them to succeed in the classroom as well as succeed as they develop through our school system to be successful when they leave, whether that's college, trade school, military, or maybe straight to a career. We ask that you watch over this meeting tonight and help us to do things that will benefit our school district and our students. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you. So if Aaron and Rebecca would come up here and do our pledges. You're going to do the U.S. pledge, right? And you're going to do the Texas pledge? If y'all can just get us kicked off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Aaron, if you can have a seat, you can.
Thank you, Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Bullock, and school board. I am so excited. MES is so proud to congratulate Rebecca Sosa as our Student of the Month. She's here with her mom, Miss Sosa, and her brother, Javier. Rebecca is a 4th grade student at Magnolia Elementary. Her hobbies include soccer, drawing, sketching, and writing. She enjoys working with Canva at school and using choice boards in her classrooms to deepen her understanding in the concepts of what she's being taught. Rebecca loves to write to express her creativity, and she loves math because it is fun and challenging. Math is truly her favorite subject today. It may change because her teacher, Ms. Patterson, makes it fun and game-like. She plans on becoming a soccer player or a doctor. Not really sure yet. Since she is still young, she has the ability to change her mind anytime she chooses. And she's a very strong woman, and she has already proved that by letting me know that her choice may change later in life. Ms. Turner was her kinder teacher and said she loved having Rebecca in her kinder class. She strived to do her best academically, and Rebecca always went above and beyond what was asked of her to do. Ms. Patterson said, Rebecca is an outstanding student. She is always willing to help others, and she's a leader, and she's dedicated to do her best. Rebecca always has a smile on her face with a positive attitude. Rebecca always sees the bright side of every situation. She is a problem solver, not only with schoolwork, but also with her peers. Rebecca has a big heart. She cares and loves everyone. She is very deserving of this honor. Her favorite color is blue. Any shade is fine. She is fine with that, and she loves tamales. I love tamales too. She has about 50 chickens, 2 goats, 3 sheep, 3 dogs, 5 cows, 2 ponies, and some bunnies. She loves her computer, but she loves her dogs most. In the future, she plans to have a YouTube channel where she can teach people how to do things and perform experiments. She plans on doing this when she gets a phone. Rebecca feels very special to have been chosen as the MES Student of the Year. She understands what a great honor this is, and she wants to thank everybody who showed up for her tonight. We have her assistant principal, Ms. Moore. We have her teachers, Ms. Milstead and Ms. Patterson. We have another one of our friends, Ms. Barth is here with us, and our academic coordinator, Ms. Garza. So thank you, everyone, for coming to show up for her. Great job.
All right. Good evening, Dr. Bullock. Mr. Blizzard, members of the board, thank you so much for having us. I am here tonight with Erin Flores to represent Bear Branch Junior High as our Student of the Month. Erin's originally from Miami, Florida, and he moved here in 2020 during COVID down to Texas, and we are really happy to have him on our campus. He is an outstanding 8th grade student at Bear Branch Junior High, where he excels not only in academics, but is also heavily involved in sports. He plays football as the defensive end on the A team, and in fact, just last week they played their last junior high football game as Bears, and he helped lead his team to victory that night. His favorite thing about football is the energy of the game and the excitement and the feeling that it gives you. He also appreciates his coaches and has learned that sometimes you have to take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, but you got to pick yourself back up and keep moving forward in football and in life. Aaron is a silent leader on our campus. He may not know that, but he truly is. He's a role model both on the field and in the classroom. He helps his peers by influencing them in a positive manner. For example, when they do something wrong or are feeling down, he likes to build them up by reflecting on what they did and focusing on getting better at it. He is a kind soul and is highly respected by the adults in the building. In fact, tonight we've got Mr. Jacobs here joining us, as well as Coach Bindley. She's sitting in the back here to recognize him tonight as well. He always finds the time for a hello and a greeting and sometimes a hug. In some ways, Aaron is wise beyond his years and brings a mature calmness to our campus. When asked what he'd like to do or what he likes to do in his spare time, he says he's more of an introvert and likes to spend time at home and gives himself time to reflect and re-energize so that he can be the best he can be the very next day. He is a godly young man. He says God is all-loving and, most importantly, our main Father. He places everything in your life for a reason. Some things may be to get you away from something that may be a bad influence or to put you with a good group of friends. Even if we don't like it, we will always see later on what the reason was. That was a great quote from Aaron. For college, Aaron has an eye set on the University of Oregon, possibly. I asked him if he'd be willing to move all the way to Oregon, and his response was, if God will have it. While he is undecided on a major, he'd like to play football or basketball for the Ducks and wear those awesome uniforms that they get to have on the field. I asked him about his experience while at Bear Branch Junior High, and he told me he's got some favorite teachers that have helped to shape a wonderful experience for junior high. Those teachers include Coach Van Putten, Coach Bindley, Coach Sledge, Coach Ziders, and Coach Burnham. He's got a lot of coaches for some teachers in the building, man. That's awesome. When I asked him why, he said that he's been able to build great relationships with these teachers, and they give him more adult mentors other than his parents, who he thinks very highly of. While he claims to be an introvert, Aaron was also the face of our foundation student trainings video for the building, where he narrated the whole thing, and we showed it to all 1,000 and something students in our building. So he may be an introvert, but he also may have a future in some video narrating, maybe, possibly. Also, I just saw Miss Simon over there. She's here to support you as well, the 8th grade counselor. I did email his teachers. I got lots and lots of great responses. I won't read through all of them, but I did want to read one from Mr. Rohde, and he said, Aaron, I am so proud of you. Your focus on work and your determination to improve shows what a focused and purposeful student you really are. You are always attentive, respectful, and always have a smile on your face. Congratulations. This is a well-deserved honor. Erin Flores.
Up here, we're not done. Where is she?
She's coming right here.
Ah, here we go. want to tell you guys, we do this, I think you may know this, but we pick one student from every campus each year. So you represent your whole campus for the year. So it's a big deal. And it's really cool. And I want you to pay attention to the other recognitions we're going to have tonight. This is the funnest part of the evening we have, is to see the good folks that we've got in our schools. Watch the rest of the recognitions, because I think we're going to see you guys again. So it's not often I have to look up to Nate. Wow, that's cool. Good job. And we want to thank America's ER for sponsoring this. Let's give another round for these guys. So we'd be remiss if hang on just a second, you're next. Be remiss if not noticing that there's a pretty important guy that normally joins us up here. He's not here tonight, and I'll let Dr. Bullock explain.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Blizzard. Dr. Stevens, I've worked in the district for 12 years. My name's Jason Bullock. I'm the deputy superintendent. In the 12 years I've been here, this is the second board meeting that Dr. Stevens has missed. And so it's got to be something pretty important for him not to be here. And he wanted me to share the message with you that this evening he is in his hometown of Temple, Texas, because tonight Coach Bob McQueen is being honored in that community for his career of service to that community and to kids. And for Dr. Stevens, that's a really big deal. And there's some people in this room who know Coach McQueen too and understand the magnitude of that. But Coach McQueen was the head football coach there for 27 years, and Dr. Stevens played for him as a kid growing up. And then Coach McQueen gave him his first job out of college. And then Dr. Stevens was able to be by his side and win a state championship with him. And it's been a lifelong mentorship for him with Coach McQueen. And so when Coach called and asked Dr. Stevens to be there with him, I think there's only one answer he could give. So I'm the substitute teacher tonight. Let's try to keep the class in line. And Dr. Stevens will be back with us next month. So, yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right, Dr. Garza, you're next.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Bullock, members of the board. It's my pleasure tonight. We actually have two Teachers of the Month that we're going to recognize tonight. We didn't really have a board meeting with principals last month, so we're actually going to do two. Our first up is Miss Griselda Montenegro. She's from Bear Branch Elementary. She actually was our October Teacher of the Month. This is year 2 for her in MISD, and, well, I'll let you say the other stuff, but she teaches first grade reading for us.
Thank you, Dr. Garza, Dr. Bullock, Mr. Blizzard, members of the board. Thank you for having us this evening. It's my pleasure to present to you our October Teacher of the Month for the district, Ms. Griselda Montenegro. Like Dr. Garza said, she is a first grade teacher at Bear Branch Elementary. This is her 6th year total teaching, 2nd in our school district. And I'm very proud to announce that she is a product of Magnolia ISD. She started out at both Magnolia Elementary and Smith, then attended Bear Branch Junior High, and was a 2011 graduate of Magnolia High School. So very proud to have her back in our school district, doing great things for our children. Tonight, she's joined by her husband, Alonzo. Alonzo, would you stand up for a moment? Thank you. She's got 3 members of her first grade team here, and then also our campus leadership team. Thank you for being here to support her. When it came time for nominations for our Teacher of the Month for October, I have to say that Griselda's name came about unanimously when we set to go about that. She's only been here 2 years, but she's made an incredible impact for children. And the best thing about it is you can always walk down that first grade hallway, and she's always on. And just has done great things. So once again, Griselda Montenegro, Bear Branch Elementary.
This is my 5th year in first grade, and I think I never want to leave. It's just, I feel like it's an age where they're developing habits, and they're learning to read and write, and they just get so excited when they are learning new skills. So I love being able to start off with good reading habits and spelling habits and writing habits, and they just are able to watch their self grow, and they're so happy. They're just really successful once they learn what to do or how to do it.
She's a young teacher, only had a few years experience, but you would never know it. She's amazing, and she doesn't know she's amazing. That's the other thing. We're constantly reminding her about how wonderful she is. She's kind, she's gentle, she's good with the kids. They love her and respect her. She can relate to them. She connects well with kids, and it makes a difference for them.
At the beginning of this year, we looked at some of our data from last year regarding our ESL students, and specifically those in Ms. Montenegro's classroom. And the assistant principal and I went and congratulated her and told her how many of those children she had helped move out of that program. And Griselda immediately shared that it was very personal to her because she was that child. Because of that personal connection, Ms. Montenegro is able to build strong connections with her students and become very, very relatable to their needs. Speaking on behalf of all of Bear Branch Elementary and specifically her first grade team, we just could not do this without Griselda. She's such a strong member of this team, and moving forward, we really look to her leadership and how we can better serve this community.
I'm just very grateful to Magnolia ISD. I'm grateful to my admin who see me, they see my work, they appreciate my strengths, and that's what I try to do daily to my kids. I try to see their work, their growth, and their strengths and focus on that.
Congratulations. Okay, so our November Teacher of the Month comes for us from Magnolia Intermediate School, is Mrs. Jan Dollar. She teaches 6th grade math for us, and Mr. Hill will tell us all about her.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board, Magnolia ISD, administration, and community members. It is my pleasure to introduce to you this phenomenal teacher, Ms. Jan Dollar. She is a 6th grade math teacher for us at Magnolia Intermediate School. For those of you all who don't know me, my name is Von Hill. I'm the principal there, and this is my first year at Magnolia Intermediate School. And I was able to see right off the bat that Ms. Dollar was special. Before we even had students really coming into the building, we had scheduled pickup night, and I was blown away by the amount of kids who went up to Ms. Dollar to give her hugs, that were excited to see her again, and excited to have her as their math teacher. In addition to that, once we got rolling, if you're not familiar with the configuration of Magnolia Intermediate School and our junior high, I've had to turn away multiple 7th graders who are trying to come back to Magnolia Intermediate to see Ms. Dollar. They get out of school before us, and it's kind of a problem. They want to come see Ms. Dollar because they love her. She just does amazing things with her students. When you go into her class, it is a well-oiled machine. She is constantly having groups going on, doing station teaching. The kids are 100% engaged and loving and enjoying every single thing that they do. We see that in the classroom, in person, every single day, and we see it in her data. She's always knocking test scores out of the water. So she is just a phenomenal teacher with her students, but she's also a phenomenal teacher in regards to our campus culture. One of the new things that we've done with Ms. Dollar this year is we've started to have some of our newer teachers go into her classroom to observe the things that she's doing, the wonderful things that she's doing. She happens to be on a team that has a couple of new teachers. And I'll just read to you some of the things that they had to say about it, what some of her colleagues had to say, especially some of those new teachers on her team. So first of all, we have our team facilitator here, Ms. Marshall. She is actually in the building to represent and to say her praise to Ms. Dollar, but Ms. Marshall said Ms. Dollar works endlessly to ensure that her students are not only learning math, but also learning how to be kind and considerate people. Ms. Gunn is on her team. Ms. Gunn says she is a fun person in her outfits and also with her ideas. Ms. Gunderson, another one of the new teachers, says Dollar teaches with amazing energy that reaches every single student all the time. We have another teacher in the hallway who had a pretty serious admiration for Ms. Dollar, and that's Ms. Clark. Ms. Clark is one of our 6th grade science teachers. She says, Ms. Dollar is the reason why I became a teacher. I think that speaks volumes alone. Her patience is truly commendable. She is one of the most genuine and kind-hearted people I have ever met. Teaching is her passion and is evident through the relationship she builds with all of her students. She handles stress management like a champ. She brings light to every single situation, good or bad. She holds all of the qualities of a teacher that you would want your own child to have. Nothing says you trust someone more than wanting your own child in the hands of that teacher, like Jan Dollar. So her colleagues know how amazing she is as well. So Ms. Dollar, you are making an impact not only in your class with your students, you are making an impact campus-wide with all of our staff. And for that, I sincerely thank you, ma'am.
I definitely try to incorporate a whole bunch of different activities where they are learning and exploring and figuring it out more on their own than me just presenting the knowledge to them.
Miss Dollar is a very enthusiastic teacher. She likes to take very simple activities and turn them into large-scale fun events for the kids that they talk about all day. They'll be walking around the room and working in teams and pairing up. They compete against each other. They'll get prizes at the end. She makes small-scale things feel like a massive learning experience for her kids.
I always start the school year building relationships with my students. I get to know them and they get to know me. Having that trust in the classroom really helps them to feel comfortable and confident to try. When they have that aha moment, it makes it all so much better because they are so excited that they got it. And so seeing that joy and that excitement and seeing them succeed is why I'm a teacher. I love to see that excitement and that they're proud of themselves.
She has a tremendous impact on her kids in class. Every single time that I've stepped foot into her classroom, her kids are 100% engaged all the time, doing whatever it is that she has them doing. She's very structured in how she set up her classroom. And the kids, again, they know exactly what to do once they set foot in the door. And the way that she does it allows her to have a bigger impact on the kids. Because again, she's working with them in a small group. They are collaborating together, and the conversations that they're having are at a level that is not typical for a 6th grade classroom. And it's pretty amazing and unique to be able to see.
I am so honored, and I am so blessed to work at this school. They have really given me the support I needed to be a teacher, and so that helps me to be the best teacher I can be.
On behalf of MEF, we would like to say thank you and congratulations. A picture with you over there when you're finished as soon as
All right, let's thank these teachers, these two teachers. Good job.
Education Foundation. This is Kitty, the HED. In January of 2023, in partnership with the Coach Morris Endowment, the Magnolia Education Foundation launched a new scholarship opportunity for Magnolia ISD employees. The Ready to Teach Scholarship is offered to full-time teachers who are enrolled in an alternative certification program and paraprofessionals who are working towards earning their teaching degree at an accredited college or university. So far, we have awarded a total of 13 $1,000 scholarships, with applications being submitted year-round. We look forward to continuing to offer this scholarship each year and are so excited to announce that we have opened a new scholarship opportunity for teachers who are earning a master's degree to further their career in public education. We have 3 recipients here tonight who have received an MEF Ready to Teach scholarship. Heather Scardino, who is a 2nd grade teacher at Nichols Sawmill Elementary, earning her alternative teaching certificate. And we have Manusos Bikovaris, a debate, AV, digital media and design and money matters teacher at Magnolia High School, who has earned his alternative teaching certificate. And we have Cheyenne Barth, a paraprofessional at Magnolia Elementary, who is earning her degree in teaching. On behalf of the Magnolia Education Foundation, we'd like to congratulate you. Thank you. Thank you. You go this way for a picture.
Tina, thanks to you and the MEF for all y'all do. We appreciate you. All right, where's Miss Wood? Ah, here she is. Come on up. You're up next. Now, Aaron and Rebecca, I mentioned to y'all to pay attention to these recognitions. This is what I was talking about, so heads up. Go for it.
Good evening, and Mr. Bullard, I'm just going to take this. Here we go. Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Bullock, thank you for having us. School board, honored to be here. It's my favorite time of the year. Some say it's Christmas for them. This is the most wonderful time of the year right now for college boards. So if you are a college board student, if you're a student being recognized for your college board, for a college board recognition, if you'll make your way up to the front. I think we can kind of get you guys up here on the side from both Magnolia High School first and then Magnolia West. So the national recognition program that the College Board, I'm going to kind of fill y'all in while the students are making their way forward. The national recognition program is dealing with sophomores and juniors, and they apply for these recognitions. And the recognitions are based on their PSAT score, their AP scores, their GPA. All of that's configured in to put them in the top 10% of their groups at their nationwide. Then the College Board recognizes African American, Hispanic, Indigenous, or those who attend a high school in a rural area or small town. And most of our students are in the rural area or small town. And with these recognitions, we have several alum who are at Alabama on a free ride because of this recognition right here. So parents, this can save some money. All right, so Alabama's not the only one that accepts it. A&M accepts it as well, but one of the questions you want to ask when you're applying for colleges is, do you guys recognize this College Board recognition that I have? And so it's an awesome opportunity for you to save some money to go there. So they must have a GPA of 3.5 or above, and they must score in the top 10% of their PSAT and MSQT test takers in their community, and then earn 2 AP scores of 3 or above by their sophomore year. So I'm going to ask our Dean of Advanced Academics at Magnolia High School to recognize their students.
Good evening, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you all out here. It goes without saying that we're incredibly proud of our students at Magnolia High School. So I've been asked to read their names. Well, this thing is really, all right, I've been asked to read their names. So here we go. So for African American recognition, we have Kyle Henry, Carl Lamb, and Alea Horvat. Wait. For Hispanic recognition, we have Galia Avila, Dylan Beningas, Travis Escobar, Connor Eder, Wilbur Holton, Fernando Jimenez, Aransha Larrazabal, and Noah Salmon. And for Ruland Small Town, we have Jerry Anderson, Grant Atkinson, Dean Baumgardner, Tristan Beard, Nicholas Bruchhausen, Isaiah Bozarth, Jackson Briley, Hayden Brown, Christian Chadwick, Kellen Cruz, Emma Dara, Connor Domingue, Ethan Doolin, Aubrey Dunn, Lucas Durden, Michael Falsky, Trent Ford, Gretchen Gibson, Mason Giesbrecht, Andrew Gasecki, Grant Gaddis, Seth Johnson, Samantha Jones, Kylie Kasuba, Dylan Kathman, Molly Kitchens, Melania Laubsch, Colin Leahay, Tessa Marsh, Emily Martin, Paige Matthews, Bryce McAnally, Lincoln McCord, Austin Meeks, Robert Milliken, Tice Mitchell, Tyler Mitchell, Nicholas Moylan, Ty Wynn, Rachel Oldham, Kendall Phillips, Cade Pratt, Emma Reed, Olivia Renfro, Sage Reesma, Megan Rubio, Brooklyn Simpson, Carson Sloan, Anna Sorensen, Addison Springer, Tyler Stewart, Cameron Swinney, Grace Tatman, Jacob Thomas, Ava Violet, Andrew Werner, and Claire Wiest.
Congratulations to you. Parents, congratulations for this recognition for your high schools. And if you guys will go in front of the Magnolia banner over there and have your picture taken. And while they're moving, if Magnolia West students could come forward. So introduce the Dean of Advanced Academics at Magnolia West is Carrie Faltasek, and she'll call the names of her students.
Dr. Bullock and members of the board, thank you for welcoming us to celebrate our wonderful students here at Magnolia West. And the students that we're going to present here have earned one or more distinctions, including National Rural Small Town Recognition Award and the National Hispanic Award. All right, first we have, Antonio Campos, Jace Chilson, Nolan Cruz, Olivia Cruz, Cole Dolan, William Delwo, Adrian Fuentes, Joshua Hernandez, Ty Hoffert, Emma Hausch, Natalie Kahanik, Nicholas Kahanik, Ireland Keck, Kayla Lopez, Savannah Melito, Ava Lucio Matasso, Donna Mendez, Sydney Mullins, Luke Navarro, Kate Nobles, Mira O'Neill, Daniela Ramirez, Lily Sack, Vanessa Torres, Isaac Villarreal, and Chase Whitaker. Thank you.
Looks like you just Congratulations to you all. Some of your faces look familiar. I think we spent some lunches together last year. So that hard work paid off, and your practice for PSA definitely paid off. If you guys will move over in front of the banner for your photo as well. So each year, the PSAT is given across the nation, and each state has a selection index that's set to be the score that students should have to achieve national merit scholar recognition. There are commended, there's semifinalists, and there are finalists. And tonight we're going to recognize 7 commended scholars from both of our high schools. And so at this time, would Mr. Parsons, again, would you come forward to recognize your National Merit Commended Scholars from Magnolia High School?
All right, hello again. Why don't y'all four, well, yeah, y'all four, come on up. Come on up. So National Merit is an incredibly prestigious award, and we're just so incredibly proud of these 4 students. So let me introduce them to you very briefly. First is Samantha Jones. She is the daughter of Andrew and Jamie Jones. Give them a wave. All right. She is still deciding on which college to attend, but once she does, she plans to earn a degree in chemistry. She is an IB diploma student and is a recipient of the College Board National Rural and Small Town recognition, which we just saw. She's a member of the varsity swim team, where she's been a Female Diver of the Year for the past 2 years. She's also a member of multiple honor societies, including National Honor Society, as well as Science and English Honor Society. Once again, Samantha Jones. Next is Jackson Briley. He is the son of John and Nicole Briley. He will attend Texas A&M University with plans to earn a degree in economics. After college, he wishes to be a pilot in the Navy or Air Force. He is a recipient of the College Board National Rural and Small Town recognition and is also an AP Scholar with honor. So once again, Jackson. Bryce McAnally is the son of Matt and Robin McAnally. He plans to attend Texas A&M University and major in biomedical sciences with the intention of continuing on to med school to be an orthopedic surgeon. He has for 2 years been on the All-A Honor Roll and an AP Scholar with Honor. He is a member of the National Honor Society and is on the football team. Once again, Bryce McAnally. And now we have Megan Rubio, who's the daughter of Mark and Marcia Rubio. She also intends to attend the A&M University, to also major in biochemistry with the intention of going on to medical school. She's a member of the National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, and STUCO. So once again, Megan Rubio.
So I always say this about national merit. Every high school in the state has their top 10 graduates, their top 10% graduates, their valedictorian, their salutatorians, but not every high school in Texas or in the United States has national merit scholars. So it is truly an honor for us to celebrate these 7 students this evening for achieving something that less than 1% of high school seniors achieved last year when they took the PSAT, and it's based solely on PSAT scores. Magnolia West can honor your national merit scholars.
All right, if we could have our 3 students come to the front, please. All right, our first National Merit Commended student we have is Hunter Fugate. Hunter is the son of Emily and Danny Fugate. After graduation, Hunter hopes to attend Rice University and major in chemical engineering. With his degree, he wants to pursue a career which helps the environment, particularly global warming, and he would also like to write a script. Hunter's awards and achievements in high school include AP Scholar with Distinction and College Board National Rural and Small Town Award. Hunter placed first in region and state in science for academic decathlon and was selected as Rookie of the Year for the swim team in 2021. Hunter has been actively involved at Magnolia West as captain of the swim team, and he also played tennis. He is a member of the Chess Club, National Honor Society, Magnolia Aquatics Club, Mu Alpha Theta, and president of the Academic Decathlon team. Hunter Fugate. Next is Levi Maxwell. Levi is the son of Steve and Patty Maxwell. After high school, he's going to attend the University of Alabama and study either electrical engineering or physics. Levi has earned many honors throughout his years of high school, including AP Scholar with Distinction and College Board National Rural and Small Town Award. He has been nominated for Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. He was admitted to the Texas High School Aerospace Scholars Program, and he scored a 36 on his ACT. And finally, Levi was voted by his classmates as most likely to be president. I think he's got all of our votes. Levi was also very involved in Magnolia West by serving as president of the National Honor Society and captain of the varsity tennis team. He competes in UIL number sense, math, and science. And Levi is a member of the National Honor Society and Mu Alpha Theta. Levi Maxwell. And last but not least, we have Miss Natalie Smith. Natalie is the daughter of Lisa Smith and Kenny Smith. After graduation, Natalie plans to attend a research university and pursue a double major in vocal performance and brain and cognitive science with a concentration in computational neuroscience. To make sure I spelled all that correctly. After earning an advanced degree, she plans to either pursue a career in research or start her own business venture and maybe sing a little bit as a side hustle. Award Natalie has earned include TMEA's Texas Music Scholar Award, College Board National Rural and Small Town, Corral Underclassmen MVP, and Natalie has earned Most Outstanding Student in 8 subjects so far in her high school career. Natalie is also very active at Magnolia West in choir, where she serves as head librarian, executive officer, and soprano section leader. She has also been a member of the K-Dance Club for 3 years. Natalie is a founding member of the Esports Club at Magnolia West and a member of National Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society, and Mu Alpha Theta. Miss Natalie Smith.
Congratulations again to these students. The selection index, for those of you that want to look at it, it's all 3 scores added together and then multiplied by 2. Some of these students, their selection index scores have risen anywhere between 10 and 20 points based on their amount of work and time that they put in preparation for the PSAT. So once again, a round of applause for all of our National Merit Scholars from both Magnolia High and Magnolia West. One more. This year, College Board has, they used to honor districts in 2019 and prior to, they would honor AP honor districts. This year, they initiated the AP School Honor Roll Recognition. 4,500 schools, thank you, sir. 4,500 schools received this, which represents about 30% of all eligible high schools. The eligible high schools include public and private schools and charter schools. So there's quite a few schools out there with this recognition. I think there were 3 recognized in Conroe, 2 in Tomball, and no one beat what we had as well. So very proud of both of our high school campuses. So of these schools, 1,770 of them also received an AP Access Award. That award is given to the schools who have the equal amount of percentages of students that are either low income or in sub-pop groups that participate in AP courses and AP exams. And College Board says there's nothing better than taking an AP course and sitting for the exam to prepare for college. So with that said, could we have both campuses come forward, please, with their administration and anyone who is here to support, and our AP teachers that are here as well. Make your way forward for your presentation of your awards. So it's based on some criteria, obviously, and so we're going to talk about Magnolia Highs first. I always go alphabetically. And so Magnolia High has, there's 3 categories. It's college culture that's established, and so you'll see on the board 61% or a silver level of seniors that took at least one AP exam. So 291 of their 474 seniors took at least one AP exam during their high school career. College credit, 42%, which was gold level. 200 of the 474 seniors scored 3 or higher on at least one AP exam. And then the college optimization is 20% or platinum level. That's 93 of the seniors took 5 or more AP exams and at least one in the 9th or 10th grade. So all of those awards at those different levels, they all reached silver. So Magnolia High School was presented from College Board with the AP Honor Roll Silver Award, as well as the AP Access Award. With Magnolia West, their college culture was at 40%, which was bronze level, which is 187 of their seniors took at least one AP exam. College credit, 28% of their students received college credit, scored 3 or higher on at least one AP exam. And then the college optimization for Magnolia West was their highest category, were 6%, silver level of 26 of their seniors took 5 or more AP exams and one at least in 9th or 10th grade. So they are a recipient of the AP School Honor Roll Bronze Award and the AP Access Award as well. So I know both campuses have teachers represented here. We have counselors here because it is the student in the classroom doing the work, but it's also those teachers in the classroom preparing. It's the counselors helping guide these students into those courses that they take. It's the testing coordinator who schedules the rooms and puts the best fit for those students to take those exams, the best building, not the best building, they're all in the building, but the best classroom, the best testing environment that they provide, and the administrators to support all of this. Our numbers of AP exams, I'll share with you all next month, has increased across the board, and that contributes to a lot to our AP School Honor Roll recognitions. So once again, thank you for all you all do on your campuses to help us get on the map even more so with our advanced academics at Magnolia ISD. Thank you.
And you wonder why we think this is a special place. What a night. Mr. Bruner, you're up next.
Well, good evening, Board. Tonight I want to give you a quick update on construction projects for our 22 bond, focusing on the 3 new schools that are currently under construction. Here's an aerial view of Audubon Elementary School. As you guys know, this was the project that kicked off first and has the tightest schedule, so we're the furthest along with this. As you can see, structural steel's erected. We're now we're basically waterproofing the building, putting on the roofing, adding the waterproofing to the exterior of the building. We're also doing rough-in and starting to do the metal stud walls on the interior of the building. The view of the main entry, and again, the substrate that goes on first, and then the waterproofing will be applied to that. And this kind of leads to one of our milestones, is that we're trying to get this building dried in by the first of the year. With the, we're looking at permanent power sometime in February or March, depending on the delivery of the transformer from CenterPoint. This kind of gives you an idea of the rough end that's going on the interior of the building. You can see overhead lines. And here's a shot that I took, I thought would be pretty cool. As we progress, I can keep coming back, each month and updating this shot. But this is a view of the cafeteria, and that's the stage you see there. You can see we're very early in this project as far as getting it dried in. And once we get this, get permanent power, we'll start on the finishes. And we're still on schedule for obviously an August opening, but we're hoping to have this building hopefully sometime in June, turned over in June so we can get moved in. Here's an aerial view of intermediate number 3. You can see where this project's at, foundation's in, slab on grade's in, and we're now erecting steel. Site-wise, we're 100% of the utilities installed. We're yet to do the final tie-in on the electrical. Again, that's a milestone that we're looking at. Hopefully April. We had 12-month lead times on these transformers, so again, we're dependent on that for permanent power. We'll be ready. We'll be waiting, and then we'll get our HVAC systems turned on shortly thereafter, and again, get into finishes. Here's just a shot from the ground. If you've been on this campus anytime recently, you've seen this project under construction. And then here's an aerial view of the junior high site. Obviously, much further behind than the other two, but we've also made a lot of progress here. We're probably 90% complete on the underground utilities, which is pretty good site-wise. You can see the what will be the athletic complex on the right side of that picture. It's waiting on the group that's going to come in and kind of do a turnkey job on the track and the field and so on and so forth. So they're ahead of schedule there. We're still working on the foundation, and you see the first section of slab on grade in the building. That's the little gray area in the middle there. So this project, again, on schedule. We're looking at having it dried in maybe sometime by July of next year, and permanent power, shortly thereafter. But all these projects are on schedule. You guys have any questions for me? I'm glad to take them. We're going to talk a little later tonight. We're also working, very hard on the design concept, the design side of the CTE facilities, the Ag Barn renovations, as well as the new JROTC building. So hopefully get those projects kicked off first part of next year. Good? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bruner. So one last thing, this isn't on our agenda, but I think we'd be remiss not to recognize our veterans. It's Veterans Weekend. If there's any veterans here that have served our country, we'd love for you to stand so we can thank you. Thank you for allowing us to do that. All right, we got anything else before we...
5-minute break.
All right, so we've got a break coming up, but you guys are welcome to stay after the break for the business side of the meeting. Otherwise, if you wanted to slip out, now is a decent time to do that. Thank you. Okay, we're back. So, Ms. Hinkleman, has anybody signed up to speak? Yes, sir. All right, we'll just roll right along. I think Dr. King is up next.
All right, good evening. Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Bullock, members of the board, thanks for having us tonight. So Denise and I are here to talk to you about boundaries and the process that we've gone through to get some proposed ones in front of you. Obviously tonight we're just here to review the process and give you some of the data that we've looked at to try to make some decisions to this point. Obviously, if you have any questions or any comments, we're happy to try to answer them to the best of our ability. But I'm going to let Denise start off by talking about some of the communication that we've done in preparation for the boundaries. So Denise.
All right, good evening and thank you. So let's begin here. So back in September is when we started the process. We sent a letter to all MISD parents at the beginning of September. We launched our website, which has a lot of good data information on there. We launched 2 thought exchanges, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a couple slides. And then we also had PTO listening sessions that coincided with the second thought exchange. So when we started this process back in September, we needed to create a set of guiding principles. We needed to create these principles so we could maximize the efficient and effective use of our facilities, balance enrollment, and plan for future growth while getting responsive input from our community and our parents. Some of these guiding principles include location of natural boundaries, such as roadways, minimizing the impact on families, location of future schools, and looking at enrollment projections. So you ask, what is Thought Exchange? So Thought Exchange is a platform to engage parents and community through surveys, analyzing the data, and delivering a creative plan. So here's an example of some of the key thoughts that we receive through Thought Exchange. So after a user submits a thought or multiple thoughts, the user can go in and then start rating other people's thoughts. Hence, you see the stars. So our first exchange was September the 7th through the 20th. We had almost 1,500 participants, 829 thoughts, and almost 20,000 ratings. October 18th was our second exchange, which had the proposed boundary map, which coincided with the PTO listening tours. That had over 2,000 participants, 761 thoughts, and over 16,000 ratings. So along with Thought Exchange, we also asked a few survey questions, and here's a sampling of a few. How confident are you that adjusting school boundaries will lead to improved educational opportunities? And as you can see, 54% said, yes, we agree. How satisfied are you with the level of parent and community involvement in the current process? Again, we had 54% who agreed. Do you plan to apply for a transfer for your child or student to finish their final year at their current elementary? 11% said yes. And now I'll hand it over to Dr. King.
Okay, so we've got some enrollment projection numbers that we've used to try to make some decisions about proposing boundaries. I'll just kind of go down the list and look at some of the schools that we focused on. So you can see there in the orange, you've got that's the current enrollment for our schools. So you've got Smith at 768 students, Line at 736, Magnolia Elementary there, almost 700, Parkway up over 850, and you have Williams Elementary at over 860 students. So you can see we have a handful of students. The majority of our campuses are over that 700 mark, and some of them are approaching capacity even this year, especially with Williams and Parkway. So those numbers tell us we need to do something. And we have the advantage of having Audubon in, as Mr. Bruner just presented and showed that that's on the ground and going to be ready to open. And so we've got to rezone and propose new boundaries so that we have students going into Audubon and that we relieve some of the campuses that are approaching capacity and some of the campuses that are going to experience a great deal of growth in the coming years and make sure that they have space to take on the growth that we're going to experience here. You'll also notice, though, that we have some campuses that do not have quite the enrollment number that some of our other campuses do. So you see Bear Branch Elementary, you see Ellisor, you see Nichols Sawmill. So the proposed boundaries that we've put out there would move students from campuses that have a large enrollment into those campuses so that we can utilize the space there at those campuses and relieve some of those other campuses that have a large enrollment number. You can see 24-25, which is right there to the right of the fall column. You can see where Parkway would be over capacity, projected to be over capacity next year, and Williams would be well over capacity next year. Again, we have Audubon coming on, so that will relieve those two schools because it's right there in that sort of middle corridor that we've called. But we have to propose some boundaries that allow students to go into Audubon and then take care of our other schools. Questions about that? So this is another image and set of data that really tells the same story. So you can see we've got the highest activity, and this is for district housing overview. So obviously this is the annual starts, the annual closings. You see all the way to the far right, which we won't get into much tonight, but you can see the vacant developed lots and the future lots and see how many lots are available to build on in our school district. It's pretty amazing. But if you look down there at the bottom, you've got the highest activity in the category. So you've got in the yellow, those are the schools that are experiencing the highest activity in the housing development. Second highest is in green, third highest is there in the red. So you can see the schools we just talked about that have a larger enrollment number are also experiencing a lot of development in their area. So what we want to avoid is just allowing those housing developers to keep coming in without rezoning in a way that takes students out of those buildings and puts them into the buildings that have the capacity, because we want Williams, Parkway, Magnolia Elementary, so on and so forth, to have the capacity to take on the student enrollments that's going to come from these houses here. And again, one more image just to sort of drive the point home. So this is our district here. You can see that's 249 in the red that goes right up the center of our district into the northwest part of it. The numbers there indicate a housing development or a neighborhood. And you can see where we have lots of development coming in that 249 corridor in the middle to the western part of our school district. Of course, that's where we've decided to build Audubon. And as we rezone, we want to be able to accommodate the growth that's going to come, or the student enrollment that's going to come with this growth here. Questions? So here are our current elementary zones. So you guys are familiar with this, as we all are, and you can see that this is without the Audubon zone in it. And we have that bow tie there on the west side there. So current elementary zones, and I can come back to these if we need to, but I'll get to the proposed zones. So these are the ones that went out in the thought exchange and people should be familiar with, but you can see that blue in the middle. That's where the Audubon zone will be. But you can see how we've shifted a lot of the zones, particularly on the middle to the west side of the school district. And you don't have that bow tie in the middle there, and you've got some nice clean lines with FM 149, 249 and 1774, so that people aren't trying to cross over those busy roads so much. And I just kind of flip back one more time, so you can see that's where we went, or that's where we are. And then here's where we're proposing to end up. So nice clean lines, still there to accommodate the growth and to also utilize the capacity that we have at some of those schools that don't have quite the enrollment that some of our larger campuses do. So again, no action. We just wanted to make you aware of the process that we've used, the way we've tried to communicate with the public and our parents. And this is where we are right now. Questions?
I don't have a question, but this is quite the undertaking. I know for all of you in the research and thought exchange, and I just commend all the work, and wow, a lot of growth. 36,000 lots. Okay, I'm preparing myself.
What else?
Thank you, sir. Great work.
Thank you.
Dr. King, can you talk for just a second about just the next steps after presenting tonight and kind of giving everyone an update? What could we expect here over the next month leading into December?
I mean, I think that we just continue to try to gather input, and as long as there are no requested revisions or changes to these boundaries, we would like to, and I guess if there's no more input that makes us make any kind of radical shifts or change, we would like to bring these boundaries to the board in December to ask for a vote of approval on the new zones.
I like the fact it's methodical and timely and paced. It's going to hopefully result in something that everyone is following along and bought into.
Yes, sir. There's been a ton of people who have worked on this. And we try to gather as much input as we can. We're trying to be accommodating and help as many people as we can. We know folks don't want to move schools, but the growth is sort of compelling us to try to reach all zones, and that means that we will have some folks who need to move to new schools. But like I said, we're going to try to accommodate people as that happens. We could see if our zones are, if you guys decide, hey, yeah, we like them and we're going to go with these zones, it could be some transfer process that we put out to make sure that, for instance, if you're a third grader currently and you're going into a school as a fourth grader, but the zones require for you to go to a new school, you could apply for a transfer. We'll have that open and be separate from the other transfers that we have every year to make sure that if people want to apply for a transfer, they can. And we'll look at that, and of course, we're going to take in capacity into consideration as we look at those transfers. But we understand it's important for people who have been into school maybe since they were in kindergarten, and now they're faced with the prospects of having to move schools. We want to try to be able to accommodate them, so we'll have a process for them to apply for a transfer to stay at the school that they're at least for that final and fourth grade year. Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're moving on to our consent agenda, and this portion of the agenda consists of items to be routine and acted by one motion unless separate discussion is requested. So if there is no separate discussion requested, then we need a motion that the board approve consent agenda items A through F. Sonia, motion, Dasha, second. All in favor? The motion passes. Thank you. All right, where's Miss Scotty? Here we go. There's no action on this, we're just reviewing.
Good evening. Leslie Scotty here from Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott to talk about delinquent taxes. This is a bi-yearly event, and if I can break some of your equipment. All right. So you have in your packet a delinquent tax collection report. So keep in mind as we go through the report, they are delinquent taxes only. The tax office does a fantastic job and your residents pay. So they're collecting over 95% of the taxes before they get turned over to me. Taxes go delinquent in February. The taxpayer gets a notice that there will be a collection penalty attached to the taxes around May. And if they are not paid come July 1, that penalty attaches and it is turned over to me to collect. So keep in mind, these are the delinquents only, and most of your residents are timely paying their taxes. So I'll get started with what's in your packet. First chart you have is your account breakdown chart. And we like to put our accounts into status. It helps us collect them more quickly because we can see what's more readily collectible, what is available to collect, and where we need to concentrate most of our time. You'll see the largest section is the action pending section. These are mostly your 2022 delinquencies that we started working on in July of this year. So we're still in the phase where we are trying to contact the taxpayer on the phone. We have sent a mass mailing to all of the taxpayers that were turned over to us on July 1. And we are actively doing title research to ascertain if there is a lien holder on the property, because we like to contact them as well. So if we do get to the suit section, the suit phase, they are included in the suit as the delinquent taxes are a superior lien to any mortgage lien or any other lien on the property. So we do like to give them notice because they may lose their lien should a foreclosure happen. So the next largest section is the deferral section. These are taxpayers that are 65 or older who have elected to defer, or disabled, and have elected to defer payment of their taxes on their residence homestead. And this is only available on their residence homestead. They may only have one at a time, and they have to apply for that exemption with the appraisal district. So those we do not actively collect. However, those taxpayers may at any time make payments toward their delinquent taxes. Next largest section is the suit or litigation section. So this time of year is when we are moving those action pending accounts that we got in July. We're starting to exhaust our resources. We like to try to attempt phone conversation at least 3 times to try to get them into a payment agreement, try to get a commitment to pay, try to work something out with the taxpayer. And by this time of year, we have exhausted those resources, so we're starting to move the accounts into the suit litigation phase. And I want to say about 70% of the time when the constable deputy knocks on their door, hands them the delinquent tax suit, they're typically very quick to get into a payment agreement. We resolve the issue, very rarely get to the courthouse steps to sell any of those. People like to preserve their interest in their property. We want them to preserve their interest in the property. Next largest section is the bad address section at 9%. These represent taxpayers who do not have a valid mailing address with the county appraisal district. So as you know, tax bills go to the address that the county appraisal district has on the account. And as we get back bad address notices from the Postal Service, we work on these accounts to get a better address and to reach out to the taxpayer and let them know of the delinquency. So next up, we have the dollar range chart. This just gives you an idea of where the dollar's owed and helps us to work smart in collecting the delinquent tax roll. We lump accounts together that have common ownership so that we can be as efficient as possible. So this is basically just another collection tool. I like to note that the 10,000 and up section at 23%, the vast majorities looking at your tax roll are the taxpayers that have elected for the deferment of their taxes because they're over 65 or disabled. That is the vast majority of those. There are a few accounts on that, in that section, that are personal property judgments where businesses have closed, liquidated assets, and we've taken it as far as we possibly can. We've gone to the court, we've got a judgment, we've done our abstracted judgment lien, and just waiting to see if we can make something happen there, send out post-judgment discovery, see if we can find any assets to seize. And anything else in that section is in pending litigation, but vast majority are the deferred accounts. Next chart we have is the tax year chart, and this just gives us an idea of what percentages is due per tax year. You'll see the largest section is the 2022 section at 40%. We've been working on these since July, and after that section they get smaller and smaller in percentage. 15 and prior, there's very small percentages due to each of those years, and those older years are going to be attributable to your over 65 deferrals that have been on accounts for some time, or could be accounts in the bad address status, or accounts that we deem to be no longer collectible, like the businesses I mentioned that close their doors, liquidate their assets, move on. And there's also a 4-year statute of limitations on those business personal accounts as well. Statute of limitations for filing a lawsuit is 4 years, but they actually remain on the tax roll for 10 years after delinquency before the tax office has to purge them off of the roll. All right, then we're moving on to our historical collection data. Most of you are familiar with these bar graphs. They just let you know what we have collected of what was turned over to us in delinquent receivables for each year that these were collected. For example, the 2017 tax year, we're partially through year 6 of collection. So as of the end of October, when the tax office closed out their data, we were over 91% collected for that year. And I wanted to point out on the 2020 tax year, you see the percentages going backwards a bit. So you'll see at the end of year 2, and I'll get the audience to the right slide. You'll see at the end of year 2, which that was the end of June of this year when we closed out the year 2 for collection on that tax year, we were over 81% collected. And then you go to October, the closeout at the end of October this year, it shows almost 79% collected. I reached out to the tax office to try to find out why, and typically it's because of refunds. And they let me know that it's because of appraisal district litigation that had resolved in that time period that triggered a refund where the property owner had paid an undisputed amount of tax, went to the appraisal district, protested their value, did not like what the ARB members had to say, filed a suit in district court, and at the resolution of that suit in district court, the district court lowered their value, triggering a refund. And then some of those refunds were attributable to the appraisal district granting homestead exemptions. And so that triggered multiple refunds, and that's why we see that percentage go backwards a little bit there. But I'll point out for the 2022 tax year, which we started collecting in July, we're almost 50% collected. So I feel like that's very good for the few months that we have had that to collect, and we're still hitting the ground running on that tax year. So, and just by reminder, we still have monthly tax dockets in the 284th District Court. We have a standing date with the judge of the 284th for delinquent tax cases every month. And tax sales are now online through a company called Real Auction. And we're looking to have our next tax sale in January or February of 2024. If you're interested, please sign up on our website, pbfcm.com. And also we'll have a link to the Real Auction website to give instructions on how people may sign up to place bids via Real Auction. Are there any questions?
Those of us that have seen this before ask you the question a lot. Is there anything unusual that you haven't mentioned that happened this time versus last?
Only thing unusual was the refunds on that 2020 tax year, which always, if there is something different or off, I do like to point that out and let you know why that something is unusual or out of the ordinary, because typically we're going up in collections and not going backwards. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk about taxes. Hope you all have a great evening.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Leslie.
Okay, Mr. Bruner, you're up again.
Okay, so tonight I just got a couple of pieces of business to do. As I spoke earlier, when I was giving the construction update, I talked about the other projects that we have. We're working on the design phase, and it's the two CTE buildings that are going at Mag High School and Mag West, also the JROTC building at Mag High. And as part of the Ag Barn renovations, we want to build a concession stand for the Ag Barn, and particularly for the Ag Show. So while we have other things to do with the Ag Barn renovations, we want to go ahead and get that project started. And so we're included in this package. And what we have to do is you guys have to approve a delivery method. And so what I'm recommending tonight is that we use the construction manager at risk delivery method. It's the same delivery method that we're currently using for the new schools. And as I get into the second part of this business, it'll make a little more sense. But it's just a good delivery method. It's been very effective for us, particularly with ground-up jobs, and all of these will be ground-up projects, with the exception of Magnolia West High School. We're doing a CTE addition to the existing VOTEC building. But essentially tonight, I'm just making a recommendation that we approve the construction manager at risk delivery method for these 4 upcoming projects. Any questions about that?
Everybody good? All right. Do we need a motion to that the board approve the construction manager at risk delivery method for the construction of 4 new projects as part of the 2022 bond program? Motion by Travis, seconded by Jordan. All in favor? That motion passes. Thank you, sir.
So the second part of the business tonight is to go ahead and approve 2 contractors to fill those construction manager at risk roles. Now, when we looked at this, we went through the interview process for CM at risk for these 3 new schools like a year ago. It was actually before the bond election. And we selected Stewart Builders and BNC Constructors. Stewart Builders is doing the intermediate school 3 and junior high 3, and BNC Constructors is doing the elementary school. So it just seemed to me they're doing a great job. Both contractors are doing a great job in their roles, and it just seemed simple that we would go ahead. We can do a simple amendment to their contract and have them go ahead and price these projects. So what I'm proposing is that we give the 3 projects at Magnolia High School, which consist of the CTE building, the JROTC building, and the new concession stand for the Ag Barn, to Stewart Builders, and then give the CTE addition at Magnolia West High School to BNC Constructors. Do a simple, like I said, a simple amendment to their contract, These documents will be ready. We're about 95% on the documents right now. So we'll be ready to hand those over to them and have them start pricing those projects. And we can hit the ground kind of running first part of the year. I think it helps us schedule-wise because, I mean, we do face two issues. That's permit and permit. It's a county permit for the projects at Mag High, and it's a City of Magnolia permit for the project at Mag West High School. And folks, neither one of them are going to be done expeditiously. So, you know, schedule is starting to impact this because we'd like to open these buildings in August of next year for the new school year. So it helps us both schedule-wise, but also I think this is really in our best interest because we have two very good construction managers at risk already on board. And so I'd like to go ahead and utilize the fact that they are here, their resources are here, they have manpower, they have subcontractors. It just makes the most sense. So what I'd like to do is recommend that we approve Stewart Builders, Inc. and BNC Constructors to provide services as CM at risk for the projects as presented. Any questions about that?
Everybody good?
Makes sense?
All right. Do we need a motion that the board approve Stewart Builders to provide construction manager risk services for a new CTE building, new JROTC building, and ag barn renovations at Magnolia High School, and BNC Constructors to provide construction manager risk services for a CTE addition at Magnolia West High School as part of the 2022 bond program? Motion by Travis, seconded by Sonia. All in favor? That motion passes. Thank you, sir. Okay, so the next item on our agenda is to cast ballots for the Montgomery Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. And I've got a statement I'll read just to put some facts out there to make sure it's clear about what they do and don't do and all that sort of stuff. The Montgomery Central Appraisal District Board members are elected by taxing units such as school districts, cities, special districts, and Montgomery County. The MCAD Board of Directors serve 2-year terms. Magnolia ISD, that's us, we have 330 votes to cast this year for the candidate of our choice to serve on the MCAD Board of Directors. The 5-member Board of Directors is responsible for governing the appraisal district. They hire the chief appraiser, they approve the budget, they approve contracts, and they set general policies. But they don't appraise property or review property values or appoint members to the appraisal review board. So that's kind of what they do and don't do. So are there any questions about this? Basically, we've got 330 votes. All these entities have different numbers of votes. That's what we have. And I think it's probably in our best interest not to dilute those votes, to put them all in one place where they can amount to something. But anyway, we'll go into that in a minute. Has anybody got any questions about this? Make sense what we're doing?
Yeah, how do we get assigned our vote numbers? How do we get the 330 relative to others?
I can take that. So there's 5,000 votes in total, and it is split between all of the taxing entities, Mr. Michaels, in the whole, in the county. So, and it's based off of the amount of tax base you have. And so we are actually, 330 votes is one of the largest in the county for this purposes, but it's split tons of different ways because every MUD unit, every city, every school district gets a different number of votes, you know, that has some business within the county. So we end up with basically 6% of the available votes in the electorate.
I think Conroe's got the biggest, right?
Right, and I think Conroe ISD has the biggest amount.
And so what are we going to vote on tonight? Whether we keep our votes together on a specific candidate? What explicitly are we looking to
I think any of the above, whether you want to keep them together on one candidate, and if so, which candidate you'd want to put those behind.
So you can spread them out among candidates, or you
I mean,
can put them in one.
fair enough. And call me naive or uninformed or undereducated or what have you. But I don't understand who the candidates are or how we come to who those candidates are. So I probably, just for the record, will probably abstain from this vote.
I think we had a list of them in here, did we not? Here. We had a list of them in our board packet. I can't say that I know any of them myself, but there's a
I can
list.
say definitively I did not have them in my board packet.
What's that?
I looked at my board packet today, I did not see them. I know I was told to look at those, but I didn't see them previously.
I think I opened up the same email that was sent to you. And I saw
I
them in there.
neither have a hard copy here, maybe I do.
There's a list of them.
Fair enough, I have had no opportunity to study the candidates, so I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Because what I'm going to suggest we do is we put our 330 votes toward a gentleman by the name of Mr. Frank Smith for this upcoming term. He's been recommended to us as somebody, but again, I can't say personally I know this list of folks that we have to choose from, but it's been recommended to us that Frank Smith would be a good one to put our votes on. So, any comments on that? Everybody good with that? Okay, so if that's the case, we need a motion to cast our 330 votes for the Montgomery Central Appraisal District Board of Directors for Mr. Frank Smith for the 2023 term. We need a motion for that. I'll make a motion for it. We need it seconded. Somebody needs a second. Stacy seconds the motion. All those in favor? And the reason, by the way, before we take the final vote, the reason we're doing it now is that we've got to do it before, we won't have another opportunity to do it before the voting occurs. So all those in favor? All right, motion passes. Okay. What other business do we have tonight, Dr. Bullock?
Well, I think next on the agenda is a recess and executive session with Dr. Stevens out of town. Mr. Blizzard, I don't have any business for us in executive session unless you do.
I can't say as I do. So that being the case, unless there's any comments, I think we need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I thought they'd move faster on that.
Yeah, exactly. I thought they'd be jumping over the table.
Before we do that,
Yes?
I thought we should compliment our students in CTE programs with beautiful flowers at the catering thing.
Sure.
I think we want to make it. I realize my mic's on.
It is now.
Yeah. I just wanted to compliment our students. I mean, we have an awesome CTE program at both Magnolia West and Magnolia High School. And I know that kids can take floral design, and there's different levels of floral design, and you see examples here. We also have different levels of cooking classes that we have, culinary classes, and just want to compliment both schools on their CTE courses. Just wanted to give them a shout out.
Thank you. That's great. That's good. All right, anything else? Anybody got anything else? All right, we need a motion to adjourn the meeting. Stacy first, seconded by Jordan. All those in favor? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.